cabin tutorial. Since this will be your first time doing something in architectural units, we're going to take a look at how to set your drawing up. Most of the time on your menu options, if you start a new drawing, you can start with one of those templates. And there's a template that says Tutorial ARCH, and the I stands for the Imperial, and of course ARCH is going to stand for the Architectural. So if you start with that template, you will already have a layout set up with a border and a title block. If you don't start with that template, then you'll just have inch unit, and you have to set everything up from scratch. So here's the one that we're referring to, Tutorial ARCH. Select that, open it. Now, it will not have layers set up for you, so you're going to have to create your own layers. But as I said, it already has a viewport, which is what you're seeing in your model space that's being drawn. Already has the paper size set, and then it has a title block ready for you to put information in. And it's set as to what's called a D size sheet. So if you remember back to sheet sizes, that's a 36-inch by 24-inch sheet of paper. So we'll go back to the model space on this, and you're ready to set up for your drawing. Now, it may not have your limits set, so if I go in, I'm going to type in limits, check that out, 0, 0, and you'll see that it's in feet and inches now, and that's important because you're working in feet and inches in architectural. You don't want to have to convert everything to inches, and you don't want to have to go from inches and convert to feet. So they do have a 60 foot by 40 foot as their upper right hand corner. Okay, so that's not really quite the same size as a D size sheet. It's a little bit smaller. So if we wanted to do a D size sheet, it's 136,88. And I am using the foot mark, so 136 feet, 88 feet. And if you want to use a grid to help you out, then make sure you go in and set your grid settings. And then always make sure you don't display the grid beyond your limits. That way you know you're not drawing outside of that. Now they've got their snap on. You don't necessarily have to have the snap, but I would go ahead and set the snap to something like every 6 inches or something like that. And the grid is already set to 1 foot. So I'm going to do a zoom all, and you'll see you have quite a bit of space to work in. And you'll notice that you're not seeing every single grid line either, because in that much 136 by 88 feet, you're not going to see every 1 foot mark. So what you're seeing are some of those major lines, and I believe they were every 5 feet. So you're seeing like 5 feet, 10 feet, and so forth. So I just don't want you to be confused with the size. Now, you have one of two ways you can do this. You can use the multi-line command that's in this unit and set the spacing for the thickness of the walls. So what you're actually trying to accomplish is drawing the perimeter of this cabin, the overall size, and then inside of that you're creating a second line that's going to represent the inside of the wall. So you've got an exterior and an interior. Then all of the interior walls, you're showing both faces of the interior walls and the thickness. So your exterior walls are going to be 4 inches. Your interior walls are going to be 4.5 inches. And the reason we're going to go this route is you have a 3.5 inch stud with a 1/2 inch sheetrock on each side, which is basically 4.5 inches. So we never draw everything perfect to scale, but in that particular case, in this one, we're going to go ahead and use that as our dimension. The exterior, you're doing a 3.5 stud and a 1/2 inch interior. So the exterior materials are not actually drawn on the plan unless you're using brick, and then we would actually offset the exterior wall 1 inch, and then 5 inches or 4 inches for the brick. So you'd have a 5 inch offset from the exterior wall to show the airspace and the brick. So you can start out by drawing a rectangle if you wanted to, or again, if you're going to use the multi-line, you can use the multi-line. Now I'm not drawing the exact size of this cabin. I think it may be like 80 feet by 40 feet. It's not very big. And again, make sure you hit the foot mark, because you'll notice that I missed the foot mark here. So my square is off. I need to undo that. So always make sure you're adding the foot mark. So we're going at 80 feet, comma, 40 feet. Okay, so that's the basic overall shape. You go by the dimensions on your drawing. Then we can use the offset command, or again, if you're using multi-line, you just draw the straight line distance around the perimeter. In this case, I'm going to offset 4 inches. And that was quick. Now I have the full perimeter of my drawing. Now, I can't offset again based on the lines being in rectangle because they work as a polyline when they're in rectangle. So I may go ahead and explode these, or the next time I try to draw my lines, I need to draw it based on a reference point. So I'm going to do a zoom really quickly into this corner. And I'm just going to say that there's a wall that comes off of this exterior corner that's 10 feet up. So I'm going to draw a line. And before I pick the point, I'm going to type in a filter called from, F-R-O-M. Now with my object snap, I'm going to pick that base point, or that from point, which is here. Then I'm going to say I want to go at 10 feet, 90 degrees, and now I can draw that line at whatever length that it needs to be. And then I can offset that line 4.5. So I've just created my first interior wall that comes 10 feet off of this corner to the front edge of that line. So when you're looking at your dimensions, that's what you're trying to achieve, is what is the distance from the outer perimeter dimension to wherever the wall is going to be located. That from filter is kind of like going back from an absolute starting point to a relative starting point. And it's saying, well, where's my previous point? What is that base point? And the from allows you to just pick a point. Instead of drawing from that point, it is actually offsetting from that point. So it's doing relative offset and selecting all at the same time. Now, when it comes to creating your door symbols, we have the design center, and that's where your door symbols are located. So again, I can use my line command, do my from. This time I'm going to go from this corner, and let's just say my door is 3 feet over. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure I draw that line long enough so I can see it. That's one edge of the door. My door may be 3 feet wide. So I'm going to do my offset command, 3 feet, enter, or 36 if you want to do it that way. Offset to the right. And basically I'm going to use that as my door opening. So when you do your exterior door openings, you trim the 2 outer edges and the 1 interior edge of the wall. That's for an exterior door. Now let's just say I have an interior door and it comes from this corner. Let's just say it's 12 inches over and it's a closet door or something. We'll just say it's 28 inches wide. Now an interior wall, when you trim, you have to trim both the lines for the boundary of the door and the 2 lines that are the wall. When you do a window, you don't trim any of the lines. You create these same boundary effects, but you draw another line horizontal. So I'm going to do an offset, and let's just say I have a window that's about 5 feet from this front door. So I'm going to offset this line, and I'll do a 3-foot window again. Now on this one, I'm just going to draw a line that goes from its midpoint to midpoint, and that would be my window symbol. So we're keeping it kind of simple. If you want to use the design center tools, there's a window there, but I don't think it has a 4-inch exterior wall. So you end up with a lot of overhanging parts to a window that we aren't going to use on this. Same thing with the door. If I want to draw my own doors, I go and use my circle radius command. I pick the hinge side of my door as my center point and draw it the opening size. And then I can come back in and use a line, again from the hinge side through the circle, and I'm going to trim the line of the door and the circle to where all I'm going to be left with is what represents a door. So that's how quickly you can actually draw these door symbols. Now when you go in to place your text for this drawing, you're going to have to set your dimension style. You're also going to have to save your a text font, or you can use the standard font if you like. But we're going to create a dimension style first. I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to call it architectural. Continue with that. All of the changes that we made in our inch drawing, you'll see now is all in fraction. The architectural units are in fraction. So again, we want to make sure that these are going to be the same amount. You may not have had all of these changes, just so you know, in your original CAD file for the mechanical drawings, but you're adding just a couple of new ones. So when it's an architectural drawing, they have some things already set. So you already have the architectural tick. We're not going to have anything round, so we probably don't have to dimension anything there. The arrow size they have set up a little bit bigger than what I use. I always go with the 1/8 inch on everything. That way, when it's printed out, I know it is 1/8 of an inch when I'm finished. Now in this one, you'll notice that they've already made these changes. The text, instead of it being in the middle of the dimension line and the dimension line broken around it, it's actually sitting above it. You'll also see that it's aligned to the dimension. Instead of everything read horizontally, you can read from left to right, or you can read vertically from bottom to top. Now on the fit, here's how you're going to have to change this. Your fit means for your drawing, if you have a 1:1 scale, then you don't have to change anything because you're setting the units to exactly the sizes you want. In this particular case, we're setting them to the sizes we want once it's printed. But our drawing itself is 80 feet by 40 feet. So an 1/8 of an inch on an 80 foot is pretty small. You wouldn't see it. So we have to scale things up to match whatever our plot scale is going to be. Architectural drawings are typically either an 1/8 of an inch equals a foot or a 1/4 of an inch equals a foot. And what that translates here to is a 1/4 inch equaling a foot is 48. That ends up being the scale factor. So you're going to change this number, use overall scale, and change that to 48. Your primary units should be in architectural. The precision, we don't need it that small. We can do a 1/2 inch. Or for this one, since you're just doing this as a practice for architectural, 0 feet, 0 inches. And we do not suppress 0 inches, but we do suppress 0 feet. So that's already checked for you. Once you have that set, say OK, set that to your current dimension style. And you should be ready to make your dimensions. Your dimensions for your items are going to come from the perimeter, outer edge, to the middle of your object. So I have a door along this wall and I have a window. So I'm going to go to the door first. However, I can't get to the center of that door. So I'm going to the edge. Then I'm going to use those grips of that door, and I'm going to use the grip of my pick point. And I can change the location of that. And it should be about 1'6" over, or half the size. Half the size of the door opening. So that's how you're going to be able to manipulate your dimensions on your drawing. Now, I would have everything drawn before I do any dimensions because it's going to make it a lot easier. From this one, I go to my continue option. And from that point, it takes me directly to the next one, go to the midpoint. If there was another window, I'd go to it, and then I go all the way to the other perimeter. And that keeps all of the dimensions in a straight line. In architectural drawings, you want to dimension all the features along an exterior wall first, and then you would come back and dimension it with one main overall dimension. So it's a little different than what you have on the mechanical. And your drawing gives them that way, so it should be pretty easy for you to follow that. Now, where you have an interior wall meeting a exterior wall, you're going to need to trim that. So we are actually going to be trimming this rectangle, so just keep in mind you're going to end up with some little pieces dangling around in that rectangle. So everywhere you trim, you may end up with some little pieces. And again, if I want to put a door here, draw my circle, draw a line, do my trimming, and make sure I trim from the door open to the wall. And that'll be my door symbol. Now, once you have everything drawn, everything in place, you can go over to the layout, and you see the drawing inside that viewport now. There is information in the title block to fill out. Your sheet is A-1. Of course, your date, who's it drawn by, those sorts of things. The scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So what we want to do now is I want to make sure I have a 1/4 inch equals a foot inside this viewport. So I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to double click inside that blue square, and that activates that square. Now if you go to the bottom, you'll see that it already is set for you. So right now you're looking at that drawing as a 1/4 inch equals a foot. Yours is going to be very small because this D-size sheet, since your building is not that big, don't panic. This is just an exercise for you to learn how to go from model to layout. But if you wanted it to be a 1/2 inch equals a foot, you could do that. But in this particular case, excuse my phone, I'm so sorry. In this particular case, you just want to leave it alone. They already have it set to the scale and they have it locked. That means you can't really do anything in this viewport. If you unlock it, then you can zoom, you can pan, you can center it up inside that square. Then you're still at a 1/4 inch. If not, hit the down arrow and you can change your scale, and you can go through this list till you see a 1/4 inch again. Select it and lock it again. So when you get finished, I should be able to see your model that's drawn, and I should see your layout sheet. Once you're done with that, that's the very last drawing that you have for this class. You do have a table that you're going to insert that has the door and window schedule in there, or maybe it's just the window schedule. I have to look at the sheet again. But on your PDF, it shows you which one you're creating for the windows or the doors, whichever it is. And you're going to put that table into your, be easier to just go ahead and put it in your model space, but if you want to put it on the layout sheet itself, you can do that, but just remember your text heights. 1/8 of an inch when it's on a plotted sheet. If it's in model space and we're doing text, if I want to put in a single line text and say that this is my foyer, then I have to scale that up or else I won't see it. So just as an example, it's already 1/8 of an inch, hit enter, angle at 0, I'm going to type in that this is my foyer, all capital lettering, and then typically you put in a size, so if it's 25 feet by 10 feet, which is a little large, but notice I'm keeping my zeros, enter and enter. You cannot see that font. Doesn't mean it's not there. You just can't see it because 1/8 of an inch, again, on that scale is so tiny. See how small it is? So what we need to do is when you go in to put your text, you're going to change the height to 6 inches. And now when I zoom out, you'll notice that the text here is the same text height as my dimension text. And that's what you need it to have. So if you're doing a table here, then your table needs to also have 6-inch text in it so it shows up in the model space. If you do it in the layout, it's 1/8 of an inch.